Good morning, everybody. I want to share with you some things that I have found about how to debug working with Cloudflare workers. So, what I have here is an incredibly simple Cloudflare worker where all it's going to do is return a random number. Now, it does do a bit of logic, so you can pass in via query parameters a min and max value. And I do a bit of sanity checking, make sure they're numbers, make sure you don't pass a min that's bigger than or equal to max. And then all I do is grab a random number between those two numbers and then return that as part of my API. So this is fairly simple, but let's talk about how we can debug it. Now, I am already running my worker. You could see the output down here, and I have a couple of console.log messages. I'm looking at the initial values that may have been passed in via the query parameters. I log again after I've done any potential corrections to it. I log whatever my random number is, and then we just return the response. So let's quickly run this. And there we go. And we'll run it a couple times, go back to my browser, and we could see very nicely and probably as you expected, it just shows up there. And I can use this to help debug what I'm working with and just see how it works. So that's probably fairly typical for working with JavaScript. So this works locally. How can we then work with this when it is in production? So I'm going to click X to exit. We will deploy this. I've already deployed this earlier, so it should go pretty quickly. And give me that URL when you're done, please. Right there. All right, we'll control click that. And there we go. So this is the production version of the same code. And I could run it a couple times and see the result. So there's kind of two ways that I want to show you that you can debug this. First thing is I'm going to go into my Cloudflare dashboard, go into the workers section, and find my particular worker. And what we can do is click on logs, click on begin log stream, and then I'm going to wait for it to be ready. And I guess it is WebSocket connection established. So let's go ahead and go back here and we will reload. And we'll do it once or twice. Go back to the dashboard and bam, we can see my request. So let's go ahead and get in here. And what you can see is that you get a lot of information, but you also get a logs property, and it contains my console.log messages. So you see my initial corrected and the selected number. And what's cool about this is that you also see like the requests. I did not include a min and max, but you could see the requests, you can see other context data, etc. If I were to go in here and let's say add min equals 90 and max equals 90,000 or so, run it again, go back to Cloudflare dashboard, and we can now see the new values. So that's all pretty easy, right? If you don't want to use the dashboard, there's another cool thing you can do from your command line. What you could do is npx wrangler tail and then the name of the worker. In this case, it is random number. So I'm going to hit that. And again, I'm going to give it a second because I do think it needs to, there we go, it needs to connect. So let's go back to my production worker and we will reload a couple times. We'll do it once. Let's go ahead and change these values so it's very obvious. like that. And then we'll go back to my command prompt and bam, I'm getting the log messages from the production executions. And it's very clear, very easy. So I hope this helps. I have said before that I really like the developer experience working with Cloudflare workers. And this is an example of why I do. Anyway, have a great day.